Hey folks, today is a damp, cold, windy fall day in Wisconsin. But you know what else it is? Today is a good day. And it's a good day because we are going to go to a mushroom farm, buy some mushrooms, come home and make some creamy mushroom soup. Let's go take a trip. Well, we made it to Gourmet's Delight Mushroom Farm here in the town of Forest. That's in Eden, Wisconsin. Let's go check out this place. They have button mushroom, cremini, and portobello mushrooms. I'm going to get a pound of each. Well, the gentleman in there was very nice to me. He said I could videotape all I wanted to, but you know, it looked like they were a little bit busy, so I was gonna just leave them have their own time. And I got myself 3 pounds of mushrooms here. Let's go make some soup. We are back home from the mushroom farm, and this is what we got. We got a pound of white button mushrooms, a pound of cremini mushrooms, and a pound of portobello mushrooms. These are big. Let's clean these mushrooms up a little bit. What I'm doing right now might be a little controversial in the mushroom world. Many people say, don't ever wash mushrooms in water. You know, I like getting the dirt and mud off of these things, so I'm gonna wash them in water. And we'll just drain them off. Let them drip off really good. I'm gonna be chopping these up and sauteing them for quite a while to actually dissolve a lot of the water that's in the mushrooms and on the outside. So I feel washing them in water isn't a bad idea. For these portobello mushrooms, I'm just going to cut off the bottom part of this. Get off that really dirty part. Time to chop up our mushrooms. I'm going to actually be blending this soup towards the end to make it a creamy soup. So I don't need to cut these mushrooms up real small. We're just sort of chopping them up, giving them a rough chop. For these large portobello mushrooms, I'm going to slice them first and then chop them up. Well, this looks like a lot of mushrooms, and well, it's 3 pounds of mushrooms. But by the time this cooks down, it's going to shrink in volume quite a bit. Let's do a rough chop on some onions. Time to chop up some garlic. I like to use fresh garlic whenever I have it. And you know what? If I don't have it, the grocery store isn't that far away. I can always get it. I'm going to chop up these green onions and save the green part, some of the green part, for later on for either a garnish or, you know, right before I serve it. Time to start softening our onions. Putting a little bit of avocado oil in there and a whole lot of butter. We're gonna let that melt down a bit, then add our onions and cook them kind of slow till they're almost caramelized. After that, we'll put some garlic in and then our mushrooms. We'll add our onions and our green onions. Keep these moving around a little bit. I'm using a spatula I got from my friend Greg from the Works on Sinking Creek. He lives down there in Franklin, Kentucky, and I know him from my motorcycle days. And he has a small business where he makes custom-made spatulas. Pretty cool stuff. You should check it out. While the onions continue to soften, I'm just pulling some thyme off of these little sprigs here. I like to use fresh herbs if I get the chance. And I happened to find these at Festival when I was at the store grocery shopping earlier. The onions are starting to get a little bit of color to them. So at this point I'm going to add my garlic. I didn't want to add this too early, otherwise it tends to get a little overdone. So we'll just stir that in, and very shortly we'll add all those mushrooms and let those cook down. You can really smell that garlic. So at this point I'm going to put in these 3 pounds of mushrooms. That's a lot of mushrooms, but it's going to be amazing how much water comes out of these mushrooms and how much they're going to cook down. So let's check back in a little while when this gets a chance to cook down a bit. This is about 15 minutes later. You can see how much liquid has been released from these mushrooms and how much they've cooked down. We'll keep letting this reduce even more. Alright, excellent. Most of the liquid has been condensed into the mushrooms here. So what I'm going to do is actually reserve a couple large spoonfuls of this mushroom and onion mix, because I'm going to cream this soup, but I do want some texture in it, so I'm going to put those reserved mushrooms back in after we get done creaming the soup. So this might seem odd, but I'm going to add a little more liquid to these mushrooms before I start pureeing them with my hand mixer. I'm going to add a little bit of red wine. Yeah, that's a goodly amount. And I'm just going to go ahead and start pureeing this. Pureeing all these mushrooms is really going to give this soup a real intense mushroom flavor. This is looking really good now, like a mushroom paste. I'm going to add a bit more thickening agent to it by adding a bit of flour. And I'm going to make sure I keep mixing this so it doesn't burn. We'll let this cook in a little bit to get rid of that raw flour flavor. And then we'll start adding our liquids. And at this point I'm going to add some beef stock to this. Mix it in. Make sure that don't have any clumps of mushroom. I think this is a total of about 6 or 7 cups of beef stock. While this is coming back up to temperature, I'm going to add our greens. These are the green onions that I chopped up earlier. I also chopped up some fresh parsley and that fresh thyme that I chopped up. We'll let all those flavors combine really nicely with this. Okay, this is simmering pretty good. So at this point, I'm going to add about a half a pint of heavy cream. That'll smooth this out even more. I'm going to add the mushrooms that I reserved back into the soup to get some more texture in there. And let this all come up to temp. I just gave this a taste test and it does need salt, so I'm going to grind some salt in here, and also I'm going to grind some pepper into here. Give that another try and keep adjusting till it's right. Gonna bring this up to a simmer and let it simmer for, I don't know, 20 minutes, maybe half hour. Well, I had another good day. I got to visit a mushroom farm for the first time in my life. Bought some mushrooms there. Who would have thought? It's only like 20 minutes from my house. Talking to the guy at the store in the mushroom factory, he mentioned that they harvest between 12 and 13,000 pounds of mushrooms a week. Well, I bought 3 pounds of them, so let's give them a try. It's great. Concentrating those mushrooms down as much as I did and pureeing them, mixing that cream in there. This is good. Better than any canned cream of mushroom soup I've ever had, even if I do say so myself. Hey, if you're in the area, it's Eden, Wisconsin, check out Gourmet's Delight Mushrooms. I'll put a link in the description. I'm not getting endorsed by them. I just really like their mushrooms. Well, like I said, I had a good day. Hope you're having a good day. I wish you all the best. See you next time.